Hello, everyone. Welcome to Being Patient Perspectives. I'm Deborah Kahn, founder of Being Patient. We have a delightful segment planned for today. We all know the value of music, whether you've been diagnosed with dementia or not. Music brings joy to everyone's lives. And we recently were made aware of this wonderful program with members of the Wisconsin Amazing Grace Chorus. They're a singing group of people living with dementia and their care partners, and it's sparking a growing movement of memory choirs. So please join me in welcoming Dan Johnson. Can you just put your hand up? He's a care partner to his wife. Heidi and Steve Mays. Steve has been diagnosed with dementia, and Heidi is his wife. And Stephanie Houston, who is from Wisconsin's you're from the Wisconsin Alzheimer's Institute.
Yes.
Sorry, that was a lot to remember. Welcome, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. So, Stephanie, let's start with you. How did the Amazing Grace Choir come about?
Well, we were so fortunate. Dr. Mary Middleman, who is a researcher at New York University, she reached out to the founder of the Wisconsin Alzheimer's Institute back between 2012 and 2013. Dr. Middleman had began her own chorus called The Unforgettables, a chorus for people living with dementia. And she began her chorus back in 2011. And she was, and her research was focusing on how she could create an activity where people who were living with the dementia could participate along with their caregivers. And so she had received additional funding, and she was looking to also be able to adapt and create other courses around the country. So she knew about Dr. Mark Sager's work with the Wisconsin Alzheimer's Institute. She found out that there was a regional Milwaukee office that did specific outreach in the African American community. And so she reached out to Dr. Sager, and then we had an opportunity. Like I said, she reached out to him between 2012, 2013. In 2014, we traveled to New York City to see the amazing and unforgettable chorus work that she had produced. And so she was able to provide us with a structure in regards to developing a chorus. And we were able to really shape and build our chorus based on the needs of our community here in Milwaukee. And we were able, our chorus has, as a part of our chorus rehearsals and singing, would love to sing the song Amazing Grace. Mr. Willie Wade would sing that song, and there would not be a dry eye in the place. And it was our director, our Milwaukee office director, Gina Green Harris, who said, you know, maybe we should call the chorus the Amazing Grace Chorus. And that's how we got our name. And, you know, there's more to the story, but that's how we started.
That's amazing. And I can imagine it must be such a joyous occasion when you all get together and bring joy to other people. Dan, tell me a little bit. Earlier you were saying that, you know, your wife was diagnosed quite a while ago. What did this chorus mean to you and your wife to be present and singing?
Well, Deborah, I don't think I can overstate the importance of it. It's just been wonderful. One of the activities that Barbara and I have really enjoyed, and the deeper she seemed to get into her Alzheimer's journey, the more important it became to us, was our singing, or my singing with her, would prompt her, animate her really, and bring her out in ways that almost no other activity could. So we found out about the Amazing Grace Chorus through a mutual friend of Steve and Heidi's. And then we showed up about 2018, I think. And I think I said to Stephanie and to Casey, some of the other leaders, well, we're kind of here to try this out, and I'm not sure it's going to work. And we're awfully busy, and I don't know if we can fit it in. And I had all sorts of other excuses. But after just a couple of months, I think we both realized not only was this a wonderful experience for us, but we really began to feel the sense of family in connecting and being with the Amazing Grace Chorus, all of its leaders and all of the members in the chorus. So it's just been a godsend for us, truly.
That's really wonderful. So wonderful to hear.
Good. Yeah.
Heidi and Steve, I want to hear your perspective. You're both participate in the choir. Steve, of course, has been diagnosed with dementia. Heidi, you're his wife. What is it for the two of you to participate in this choir together?
I actually do not participate yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
you got to reel her in.
Well, the reason why is I was caring for my mother, my elderly mother. Now she just passed a year ago. So I'm still trying to come out of the grieving period for that. But I have, just like Steve, all the love and support from the members as well, and the staff there. But we made a few notes yesterday. Steve feels it's just one big happy family, that everyone supports one another. The thought came to him yesterday about comparing the choir to a casserole. all the different voices that blend together into the final result. And he said it didn't matter what your skill level is, the choir is all inclusive with no judgments. And then he talked about, do you want to talk about sitting next to Dan? And
Dan is family, I Dan gets a solo and everything, so I enjoy, sitting next to someone with a solo. It's a rush. He has such a great voice and everything, and so Dan's my big brother.
Aww.
Steve,
Dan.
I thought you were going to say I was the tuna in the casserole. Big brother is better. I'll go with
there
that.
you go.
So it's enjoyable,
Yeah.
to be in the family.
That's right.
Yeah, I guess it's just enjoyable.
And now
Yeah.
Do you feel, Steve, I mean, I see it within my own mom who's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, that when I was saying earlier, she loves Tony Bennett. And when I play her Tony Bennett, she remembers all the words and she dances and there's a lot of joy. Do you feel like dementia doesn't take away your memory? Do you have that feeling from your perspective?
I don't think about it, even if it does. I don't go around and think that I have it. We get together, sit next to Dan, and we just have a good time. And that's how I look at just a good time. Not, anything negative. I don't care. I'm with Dan, and we have a good time for a couple hours. We do.
well, and beyond
Yeah.
Dan, everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
too.
Yeah, everybody in the chorus.
And he got into the group by way of his mother, who was a
Right.
member with her husband, and his sister's also a member. So it was a family affair for him.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
she's the one who made the arrangements for transportation to and from the choir, because I couldn't do it for him. And since then, she would arrange for other people like Dan to assist in getting Steve to and from the performances and the practices. So
amazing.
again, really
Yeah.
supporting one another and helping each other.
How often do you tell us a little bit? How often do you get together? What's rehearsal like? And then, are you performing all over the place? Like, where can we see some of your performances?
Good
Cool.
question.
Should I
Stephanie?
go
Yeah,
ahead, Steve?
Stephanie.
Or do you want me to run with that a little bit? I can say,
Sure.
since COVID, finding appropriate performance venues has been difficult. And but prior to that, and I hope we get back to that post-COVID just as soon as we possibly can. We were not on a national level, but we performed in the Milwaukee area. We performed in a couple of venues in Illinois, and then outstate, meaning Madison and some of the other surrounding cities around the Milwaukee area. We would typically perform, I don't know, in a half a season or a semester, 6 or 8 performances. And then we would practice typically on a Saturday morning for a couple of hours. We have another practice or rehearsal Saturday morning, in fact. And the rehearsals are, we get down to business because directors, want us to do that, but there's still an awful lot of fun, an awful lot of camaraderie, and I think that's where we truly all bond with each other.
I mean, I have never been present in your practices or seen you perform, but I can feel that just by talking to you. I
Yeah.
can feel the friendship and I can feel the camaraderie. And Stephanie, how wonderful to create something like this, where it's not about Alzheimer's or dementia first. It's about love and compassion and, camaraderie. That's truly, really what it seems like it is. Am I correct about that?
It really gives the participants such a rich and meaningful shared experience. And in our meetings and our chorus rehearsals, sing-alongs, we want to make sure that within there is no stigma. Everyone knows the purpose of our chorus. And I think from the individuals coming together, the love for music, I think some of the leading principles with our chorus is love for music, love for family, love for life. And it is about improving the quality of life of those who are participating and encouraging those in our community about hope. And what many times for a lot of people, the unexpected. Our chorus, we have a spring and fall season. Our chorus rehearsals usually are up to about 11 weeks. And then we end with a community performance, but prior to the pandemic, in 2019, we had about 14 community performances. So we would rehearse and we would go out and spread our message of love and song and quality of life with the rest of our community. And it's just brilliant to see it in action. And I can't say enough about the families like Steve and Heidi and Dan and Barbara who come to the chorus, and they think that we are enriching their lives when it is such a rewarding work. I can't say enough about it.
It seems absolutely incredible. And I guess the thought going through my mind is you guys are all luckier in Wisconsin. Right? You're near each other and you can do something like this. How do people, like when we talk about, and when I introduced you, we talked about a movement of memory choirs. Is there any initiative to have this spread further than where you are, than Wisconsin?
When we began and with Dr. Middleman, she was the first dementia chorus, and she began a chorus in upstate New York and also a chorus in Minnesota called Giving Voice. They also received technical assistance for her. Giving Voice, they have really expanded their reach in providing technical assistance to other courses. So now there are other courses around the country. And in 2019, we had the opportunity to participate in a national campaign with Maria Shriver called Alzheimer. And that really featured a lot of the choruses from around the country. So it has become a chorus movement. And it's so wonderful that other people are creating choruses in their communities as well.
Is there any research that's being done about, the impact of these type of choirs? I mean, we all know that socialization is what keeps our brains healthy, right? And everybody whether you have a diagnosis or not, everybody needs socialization. So I'm just wondering, is there any research attached to this?
There has been, and like I said, Dr. Middleman, she has performed her research on her course called The Unforgettables. We were actually able to present a paper at the Alzheimer's Disease International Conference in 2018 about the improvements that we saw just amongst our course participants. So we saw like 70% in increase of activity outside of the chorus. You know, we saw the improvement in just self-worth, self-esteem by 60%. So we know that the benefits of the chorus is just outstanding because it does improve mood, and some of the impacts dementia can have on a person, like with language. And so we know that with the singing itself, some of those things that are impacted by a person living with, that it can improve some of those and add quality of life to the person as well as their care partners.
And Dan, I saw you shaking your head. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
What was your experience in terms of, you know, what it brought to your wife?
Well, I don't know. I don't quite know where to begin. I mean, among other things, I think it was we were able to have this shared fun experience. And as you know, and all of us on this call know, when you're an Alzheimer's caregiver, fun is something that can be in short supply. So that was a wonderful thing to be able to have that, and to have an activity with my spouse who has pretty severe Alzheimer's at this point, where I didn't have to be as much her caregiver, but rather sit next to her and just both of us feel the joy of singing and, you know, and doing our best. It was absolutely wonderful.
That is amazing.
Oh.
As your text says, and you didn't think that you were going to get away without singing, because you're a choir after all. So Dan, you're going to lead it, but please indulge us and let's spread the word, you know, and let other people know what great things that this choir is doing.
Okay, well, and I'll defer to Stephanie. At least Stephanie, give us a thought on what Steve and I and you now should perform. We did Amazing Grace a few minutes ago. What should we do?
Let's see.
I mean, you can do Amazing Grace again, because nobody got to see it except me. But
Oh, well, if you want to do that again, I'd rather do something. But
okay.
Stephanie, you decide. Okay.
You know, I think it would be wonderful to hear just a little bit of solo from Dan. He sings one of our favorite songs.
The Christmas song.
Yes, it could be a
Can we-
Christmas song or a jazz song.
Well, yeah, all right. Let's see. Should we do a few lines of a Christmas song by Nat King Cole? I don't have a pitch to start on, but I'll try to make one up. Is that what you'd like for a couple seconds?
Sure, that's fine.
Should we do that? Okay. This is one that became very popular in the mid-60s by Nat King Cole. And I don't know what pitch I'm starting on, but I'll give it a try. This is the Christmas song. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. I don't know how to stop now.
Yeah, don't stop.
Lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is going to sigh to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you.
Beautiful.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's the most a cappella thing I might have ever done, but it's all good. Thank you.
How
Thank you.
amazing is that? And Stephanie, for people watching and saying, I want to do something like this too, do you guys have a website? Like, how do
We
people
do.
even know how to start something like this? Or maybe you'll have online events that they can join in on. What's available?
Sure. So most recently at the Wisconsin Alzheimer's Institute, we have what is called the Wisconsin Dementia Resource Network. And myself, as well as two other chorus leaders, we did a talk about hybrid choruses. As Dan was explaining, our chorus, we meet in person as well as online. But most recently, we did a webinar about beginning a chorus and also a hybrid chorus. So if individuals would like to know more, they can go to the Wisconsin Alzheimer's Institute website at www.wai.wisc.edu. The Wisconsin Alzheimer's Institute, that's our website. And they can look under the Wisconsin Dementia Resource Network, and they will see the latest webinar that talks about hybrid choruses, how to do your chorus online or in person, and they'll see myself. Also, the Amazing Grace Chorus, we have our own website. They can reach us at www.wisc.edu/chorus. And they will be able to get to see our website that has information about how people can join our chorus, join us online, sing along with us, how to do that, and a little bit more about us.
Great. And we'll, of course, post those links on this Facebook Live comment section. My producer, Katie, will put those in so that people can get to them and learn more. Really, from the bottom of my heart. Oh, did you want to say something, Dan?
I did. If I could quickly add
Yes.
to Stephanie's. Also, I would recommend take a look at that Maria Shriver infomercial from maybe 4 years ago. And I don't quite know what your link would be, but if the keywords would be Maria Shriver, maybe infomercial regarding Alzheimer's choruses, something like that, that should still be out there and available. And it was so well done.
And
Okay.
it is actually on our webpage. So it is on our chorus webpage.
Good.
So if individuals scroll down, they would actually be able to see the Alzheimer campaign that we participated in. So they will get to
Great.
see
Okay.
other choruses. Yeah.
That's wonderful. We will, and thank you so much for those suggestions, and especially thank you, Dan, Steve, Heidi, Stephanie. Many thanks for joining us. I love what you're doing. It feels so good. I'm envious. I want my mom to have the same experience as well. So we're gonna have to start one in San Francisco, or find one at least. So anyone out there wants to start a choir in SF, let us know. Thank you all for your time and your joy. I can see
Do it.
you really have a special thing going. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank
All right.
you.
Bye.
And if anyone wants to know more about this interview, of course, we post them on beingpatient.com. Don't forget to sign up for our newsletters for talks like these. Thanks everyone for watching, and thanks so much to the Amazing Grace Choir. Great to see you guys.
Thank you.